Salutations, this is the Violet Foreigner, and today I'd like to take you back in time to the late 1970s. While the economy of the United States and several other Western nations were in a general slump due to two catastrophic energy crises, Japan was in the middle of its new and frankly miraculous post-war prosperity. This, as you may already know, was due to the production of affordable technology, automobiles, and similar products in a fast and efficient manner. This in turn began to be further aided by the need for less costly automobiles and electronics in the struggling economies of the West. Amid all of this growth, a company, essentially unknown in the West, was awaiting a future of world domination of entertainment. With a seemingly infinite trove of recognizable characters, story arcs, and highly successful titles capturing the imagination, and more importantly the money, of consumers the world over. And they were but a small, relatively unsuccessful group of executives and manufacturers in 1979, trying desperately to capitalize on any new business just to stay afloat. From Hanafuda and four-suit playing cards, a taxi service, and love hotels to instant rice, Nintendo had established themselves almost right from their start in 1889 as a jack of all trades with a master of none. Nintendo's latest venture at this point was also their first in a great while to have any lasting luck: children's toys, such as the knockoff Lego building system, the Left Tester, and the classic Ultra Hand. While their relatively simple and plainly made products of the 60s had proven to be popular, the 1970s brought about the dawn of an era of desire for more advanced playthings, not only from children, but the general population, with a significant focus on businesses of service, in hopes of attracting additional customers, leading to the creation of the custom gunman, powerlift, and these legislation-worthy, dangerous model firearms, among others for the former. Those were sold to children. And the slow yet sure transition to developing electromechanical amusement attractions such as EVR Race for the latter. Upon the success of this title in particular, coupled with the rising worldwide public interest in electronic video games, Nintendo metaphorically dropped everything and swiftly decided to gamble nearly all of their already finite resources at their disposal to hop on this gaming bandwagon. Starting with the Color TV game series, most of which were simple clones of existing game concepts, such as Pong and Breakout, Nintendo branched out to their first true video arcade game as we define the term today, Computer Othello, a basic port of a simplification of Go known as Othello. After this, Nintendo's higher-ups had observed Taito's monumental success with their smash hit Space Invaders, which revolutionized gaming and introduced Japan as a force to be reckoned with in the video game industry, and were inspired to create their very own title to capitalize on its status as a worldwide phenomenon, dubbed Space Fever. With that long-winded exposition concluded, I feel that it's time to finally ask the question: have you played Space Fever? Chances are, most of the 3 people watching this can't say that you have, so I'll take the liberty of enlightening you. Space Fever's gameplay is glaringly reminiscent of Space Invaders, therefore entailing that it also incorporates the employment of vast waves of an advancing fleet bent on conquest. Although Space Fever's forces possess 60 troops as opposed to Space Invaders' 55. You take the role of a fighter pilot tasked with gunning them down with nothing but a simple cannon and 4 rakeable shields to ensure the preservation of humanity. The fleet's speed increases every time you successfully do so, as well as moving right at a quicker pace, and if they reach the bottom of the screen, you get an instant game over. Although Space Fever does try to bring some new gameplay elements to the table with 3 individual modes of play, as though it's an Atari 2600 cartridge, this title makes no attempt to hide its shameless intent to rip Taito's 1978 milestone off immediately when starting any stuff. Game A is essentially just Space Invaders with a slight twist. Rather than having the invaders occupy one sole mass, they're split into 2 equally sized and symmetrical platoons, basing their advance around the center of the screen, rather than the far right and left sides. Woo! Game B is arguably the most original of the 3. While using the same single mass of troops, they aren't all illuminated, thus they aren't all able to be hit at once. The enemies on the screen are revealed in stages, 1 row at a time, and while this may seem rather simple and similar to the original Space Invaders, I'd like to argue that it actually provides a welcome dose of originality that doesn't stray too far from the proven formula of Space Invaders, and I actually enjoy it immensely. Finally, Game C is easily the most disappointing variation of this collection, being a blatant copy of Space Invaders, plain and simple, just an advancing horde with no variations other than the increased number of targets by 5. As with the other 2 modes, it's my personal hunch that this mode was either added to the game with an excuse to market it toward lower budgeted businesses as a more affordable alternative to Space Invaders, or simply as filler to be able to claim having 3 modes in one game. Now that I've assessed the 3 variations of this concept, I'd like to formally state my overall feelings on the title. While it is undoubtedly an unoriginal and legally questionable game, I feel as though Space Fever is, in actuality, a fairly competent and decent game. Its third variation is underwhelming and nothing to be proud of, but generally Space Fever does seem to expand on the concepts of Space Invaders quite well, with it not only expanding on enemy formations, giving you different strategy to work with, making them slightly more difficult targets due to the fact that they're smaller, whilst not being unrealistically hard. Additionally, the enemies are left aggressive in terms of firing down, which is an all too common occurrence in Space Invaders, at least in my opinion, and it can become rather frustrating at times. I also believe that the general presentation of Space Fever is also far more appealing than the game it was designed to mimic, with more vibrant colors, relatively stylized shield and player sprites, and a more vast sound design, including multiple march themes as opposed to Space Invaders' sole, monotonous, droning pulse, and a far less jarring mothership fanfare, which distracts you much less. As well as the addition of starting and ending fanfares, the elements of gameplay and presentation join rather harmoniously and comprise what, in my opinion, is actually a more enjoyable game than Space Invaders. While it's definitely not as well remembered, due to the utter critical and commercial failure for Nintendo, as well as being far less historically significant to the gaming industry as a whole, I personally believe that Space Fevers will always have a place in the story of Nintendo as a corporation, marking a definite turning point within the company to expand and rise to better things. Thank you for watching, and I personally recommend you play Space Fever.